his work to promote internet safety. My time.
Thank you, madam. The gentleman from Florida is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I reserve the balance of my time. I have no additional speakers.
The gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Indiana is
Mr. Speaker, we have no additional speakers as well, so if you'd like some closing remarks, we'd be happy to yield.
With that, Mr. Speaker, I yield back the balance of my time and urge my colleagues to support this very good legislation.
The gentleman yields back his time. The gentleman from Indiana is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, a designated National Internet Safety Month would provide parents, educators, and communities with an opportunity to further coordinate efforts to protect our children on the Internet. I urge my colleagues to support this bill, and I yield back the balance of my time.
The question is, will the House suspend the rules and agree to House Resolution 1260? Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, 2/3 being affirmative, the rules are suspended. The resolution is agreed to, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. For what purpose does the gentleman from Indiana rise?
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that House Resolution 353, which was adopted by the House on June the 26th, 2008, be considered to have been adopted with the corrected text that I have placed at the desk, and that the resolution be re-engrossed in that corrected form.
The clerk will report the corrected form.
Resolved that it is the sense of the House of Representatives that there should be increased support for research and development of advanced imaging technologies for prostate cancer detection and treatment.
Without objection, so on.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your help. Okay, thank you.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Illinois rise?
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House suspend the rules and adopt the bill H.R. 6061.
The clerk will report the title of the bill.
H.R. 6061, a bill to designate the facility of the United States Postal Service located at 219 East Main Street in West Frankfort, Illinois, as the Kenneth James Gray Post Office Building.
Pursuant to the rule, the gentleman from Missouri, Mr. Clay, and the gentlewoman from North Carolina, Mrs. Fox, each will control 20 minutes. Recognizes the gentleman from Illinois. Mr.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and I've been one to be Clay for a long time, but every once in a while it gets a little mixed up. Plus, I'm better looking than he is anyway, so. But let me just thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I ask unanimous consent that all members may have 5 legislative.
The gentlelady from North Carolina is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield as much time as he may consume to my distinguished colleague from the state of Illinois, Mr. Shimkus.
Speaker, without objection. The gentleman is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thank my colleague from North. Yield back the balance of my time.
The gentleman from Illinois is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I would reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves. The gentlelady from North Carolina is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I will submit my comments for the record and ask my colleagues to vote for H.R. 6061 and yield back the balance of our time.
The gentlelady yields back the balance of her time. The gentleman from Illinois is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, obviously I rise in strong support of H.R. 6, balance of our time.
The question is, will the House suspend the rules and pass H.R. 6061? Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, 2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended, the bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. The chair will entertain 1-minute requests. For what purpose does the gentleman from Arkansas rise? Without objection, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to honor a brave American soldier who sacrificed his life for freedom.
The gentleman yields back his time. The chair lays before the House the following personal requests.
Leave of absence requested for Ms. Brown-Wade of Florida for Tuesday, July 8th, and the balance of the week.
Without objection, the request is permitted. For what purpose does the gentleman from Texas rise?
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that today, following legislative business and any special orders heretofore entered into, the following members may be permitted to address the House, revise and extend their remarks, and include their extraneous material. Myself, Mr. Poe, for July the 16th, Mr. Jones for July 16th, Mr. Schuster for July the 10th, Mrs. Bachmann for today, Mr. Peterson for today, Mr. Brown of Georgia for July the 10th.
Action. What purpose does the honourable gentleman from rise?
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent today following legislative business and any special orders heretofore entered into. The following members may be permitted to address the House for 5 minutes to revise and extend their remarks and include their extraneous material. Mr. Skelton of Missouri, 5 minutes. Ms. Woolsey of California, 5 minutes. Mr. Snyder of Arkansas, 5 minutes. Mr. McDermott of Washington, 5 minutes. Mr. Sherman of California, 5 minutes. Mr. DeFazio of Oregon, 5 minutes. Mr. Hinchey of New York, 5 minutes. Mr. Lobsack of Iowa, 5 minutes. And Mr. Stupak of Michigan, 5 minutes.
Without objection. Speaker's announced policy of January 18, 2007, and under a previous order of the House, the following members are recognized for 5 minutes each. Mr. Paul of Texas, Senator of Missouri. The gentleman from Texas is recognized.